Nice to see you again. So my name is Bob Sandee, also known as Mixmaster Subgroover. I'm a mixing mastering engineer, producer, make a lot of dance music and do a lot of mixing mastering, but also in DolbyAtmos. So we're now in the Dolby House Tobacco Theater in Amsterdam for ADE 2025. Yeah, today I showed a Logic session, because I work in Logic Pro, of the track Heavy from Armin van Buuren. And he came up with that track and he mixed it in stereo, and he came up to me, can you mix it in DolbyAtmos? I'm like, wow, yeah, let's do it. So yeah, I showed today a version of that I did in DolbyAtmos, how I did the panning, how I did the mastering, that kind of stuff, yeah. Yeah, the vibe of the track is like a little bit a rough track. It's a little bit like a dark kind of house track. So it doesn't need to be like a super happy mix or something, you know. So I listened to the stereo version first. Then when I create the DolbyAtmos version, it should be like an immersive version of the stereo version. So that's what I do with EQing, with compression and everything. I have that in mind while mixing in Atmos, yeah. Space that you have is like super, because you have like a 3D audio space. You have like 360 audio, not only like 360 top, not only from the front to the back, but also to the top speakers. That is really fantastic. So all the, you know, pads and reverbs and effects and stuff, you can really like let them fly around you. Maybe not too much, but yeah, creating an immersive experience with that, that's really crazy to do. Well, I'm a big speaker nerd, and I really love speakers. Everywhere I am, I listen to speakers and, you know, think, wow, this sounds great, or this doesn't really sound great, and I would do this and this and this to make it sound great. But in my own studio, I have made it super great. If I may say so myself, because it's a 7.1.4 system. I've been in many studios, also in other DolbyAtmos studios, but yeah, my studio, I did the whole measuring thing, you know, and the whole room calibration correction myself to my taste, and that inspires me the most. If I listen to just a stereo track in my studio, I'm like, oh, I'm home, you know, even it is not in my home, but that feels like home, you know. So that's the best for me. Yeah. Well, in dance music, it's really important to have like a mastered kind of sound. Dance music in stereo is always loud, like very loud, super loud, sometimes that loud that if you look at the WAV file, it's just like one sausage and that's it. So if we now are mixing in Atmos, we don't have that anymore. We have the space surround, the space in dynamics as well. But we really want to have the punch back into the mix. If I get the stems and play the stems together, it doesn't really sound like a polished mix. So we want that in Atmos. So what I then do is create a chain in Atmos with compressors, EQs, limiters, and do stuff like that to recreate the sound of the stereo track. And then I start panning around and play around with all these settings and EQs. And it doesn't have to be like a super one-on-one copy of the stereo track, because it's a different mix, of course. But it should sound like the stereo mix, but then better, you know? That's my approach. Yeah, for people that are starting with DolbyAtmos, just go, you know, just download the right software, buy the right software, play around with the settings that work for you. Maybe look at some YouTube videos. I did that in the beginning, but there's not really like a lot going on there, but just figure out everything yourself. And there are no rules. That's the cool part of the whole Atmos experience. Just go crazy, you know, it's not really set, you should do this or do that. It's just like, go, you know. Yeah, of course. I mixed and mastered tracks for Armin van Buuren, Dimitri Vegas Like Mike, KSHMR, again Timmy Trumpet. Yeah, a lot more.